Heather Locklear's life story is at once a quintessential Hollywood tale of triumph and a sobering exploration of how fame, relationships, and personal struggles can intersect in complicated, deeply human ways. Born Heather Dean Locklear on September 25, 1961 in Los Angeles, California, she came into the world with family ties to achievement, discipline, and dedication. Her mother, Diane, worked as a production executive, while her father, Bill Locklear, spent his professional life as a UCLA administrator and also served as a colonel in the United States Marine Corps. Through her father's side, Heather has Native American roots, a lineage that intertwined with her Southern Californian upbringing to form part of the mosaic of her identity. By all accounts, Heather showed early promise, an engaging personality, and the kind of resilience that many believed would pave the way for her success. From a young age, she displayed a natural attraction to performance and entertainment. Yet even in a city brimming with stardust, nobody could have fully anticipated just how prominently her name would appear in television credits, or the ups and downs that would shape her life on and off screen. Heather's collegiate years began at UCLA, the same institution where her father held a key administrative role. Like many young students seeking social and extracurricular involvement, she pledged the sororities Chi Omega and Delta Delta Delta, though she ultimately did not become an initiated member of either. At that time, she was more enthralled by the idea of making her way into the performing arts than by adopting the rituals of sorority life. Even as an undergraduate, she found part-time work modeling and filming commercials for the campus store, tentatively dipping a toe into a world that would soon claim her full attention. Her earliest credited appearances trace back to the early 1980s, when she was cast in small roles on well-known TV series such as Chips, 240 Robert, and 8 is Enough. While these bits might have seemed negligible in the grand tapestry of Hollywood, they signaled the beginning of a crucial collaboration with the prolific TV mogul Aaron Spelling. Recognizing something special in Heather's vivacious presence and all-American allure, Spelling cast her in Dynasty during its second season, trusting she could add an intriguing spark to the glossy nighttime soap that enthralled millions of weekly viewers. Heather stepped into the role of Sammy Jodine, a character with a mix of cunning and vulnerability that amplified the show's drama. Audiences responded to the new face, and Spelling became confident that she was more than a fleeting addition. Around the same time, Spelling also placed Heather in the police-themed T.J. Hooker, starring William Shatner. From the mid-1980s onward, she juggled two major shows simultaneously, a regular spot on T.J. Hooker and recurring appearances on Dynasty. This kind of visibility firmly entrenched her in primetime television, boosting her status as a fresh star to watch. When T.J. Hooker wrapped in 1986, Heather segued into becoming a full-time cast member on Dynasty. By that point, the high-powered soap was at the height of its glitz, recognized for glamorous fashions, over-the-top rivalries, and extravagant plots that enthralled viewers week after week. Through 1989, Heather remained a staple presence, reinforcing her working relationship with Spelling. When the main run of Dynasty ended, she reunited with the cast in the 1991 miniseries Dynasty, The Reunion, offering fans a nostalgic glimpse at the show's beloved characters. Her film career in that period was varied, though often overshadowed by her notable TV achievements. She appeared as Drew Barrymore's mother in Firestarter, a film adaptation of the Stephen King novel, and starred in the cultish 1989 feature The Return of Swamp Thing. She also took on comedic roles, such as in the short-lived sitcom Going Places. Nevertheless, it was television drama that became Heather's defining domain. Thanks again to Aaron Spelling. In 1993, she joined the then up-and-coming primetime soap, Melrose Place. Billed as a spin-off of Beverly Hills 90210, Melrose Place catered to a slightly older demographic, blending romance, intrigue, and a dash of camp. Originally, Heather's character, Amanda Woodward, was intended as a short guest arc edition, just 4 episodes. Yet her portrayal of the ambitious, sharp-tongued advertising executive was an instant hit. Viewers relished her character's canny ability to manipulate situations, and the show's narrative soared in popularity whenever Heather appeared. Quickly, she went from guest star to series regular, anchoring the show from 1993 until Melrose Place ended in 1999. Amanda Woodward came to define Heather's star image: beautiful but steely, formidable yet capable of genuine affection. She drew an audience that loved to watch her outmaneuver the rest of the cast in office politics and personal entanglements. That enduring success with Spelling led to 8 separate collaborations, with Heather appearing in some form, be it guest role, cameo, or series regular, on a variety of productions including Dynasty, T.J. Hooker, Matt Houston, Fantasy Island, The Love Boat, Hotel, Melrose Place, and the television movie Rich Men, Single Women. By the mid-1990s, her star power was at an apex. In 1994, Rolling Stone featured her on its cover at a moment when Melrose Place mania was surging. She also earned mention on People magazine's list of the 50 most beautiful people not once but twice, in 1994 and again in 2001. Moreover, that comedic charm materialized in the mainstream when she hosted Saturday Night Live on May 14, 1994. During that hosting gig, she parodied her own Melrose Place persona in a Wayne's World sketch and jumped into a coffee talk skit, proving she could deftly switch from drama to comedy if the moment demanded it. Outside of her professional achievements, Heather's personal life became a subject of media fascination. In May 1986, she married Mötley Crüe drummer Tommy Lee, already something of a rock sensation with a notorious bad boy persona. The marriage captured public attention as a flamboyant union of 2 charismatic figures from distinct entertainment worlds. But by 1993, the marriage had unraveled. Soon after that divorce, she found love again, this time with Bon Jovi guitarist Richie Sambora. They wed on December 17, 1994 in Paris, offering a storybook sense of romance. In October 1997, Heather gave birth to their daughter, Ava Elizabeth Sambora, a moment that seemed to brighten her life further. Yet life in the public eye can be fraught, and by February 2006, she had filed for divorce from Sambora. This led to a legal back and forth in which Sambora sought joint custody of Ava, as well as the enforcement of a prenuptial agreement. The divorce was finalized in 2007, closing another chapter in Heather's personal saga. That same year, she embarked on a romance with her former Melrose Place co-star Jack Wagner. The pair's relationship evolved quickly enough that by August 2011, they announced their engagement, an event greeted with excitement by fans who recalled the synergy they once shared on television. But by November, they called off the engagement, citing personal reasons. Public curiosity mounted, but Heather continued her professional endeavors undeterred. She had, after all, been forging a parallel career in comedy and lighter drama. In 1999, just as Melrose Place concluded, she stepped into another high-profile role on Spin City, a sitcom featuring Michael J. Fox and later Charlie Sheen. There, Heather portrayed Caitlin Moore, a savvy political aide navigating the comedic chaos of New York City Hall. Critics praised her comedic timing, and the show allowed her to earn 2 Golden Globe nominations for Best Actress in a Television Series, Comedy. While the show itself ended in 2002, it solidified Heather's capability beyond the melodrama that had made her famous. In subsequent years, she popped up in short arcs on various popular series. In 2002, she took a recurring role on Scrubs, a wry medical comedy known for its offbeat humor. In 2003, she led a comedy pilot titled Once Around the Park, though it never made it to series. In 2004, she guest starred on 2.5 Men, starring her old Spin City colleague, Charlie Sheen, revealing once again a penchant for comedic guest spots. That same year, she starred as an airport executive in the drama LAX, which showcased the hectic environment of a major terminal. Serving as both lead actress and executive producer, Heather had high hopes for the project, but it ended up canceled after 11 episodes, a disappointment for both her and her fans. Around 2005, she co-starred in the film The Perfect Man opposite Hilary Duff, tapping into a lighter, family-friendly comedic territory. A brief recurring role followed on Boston Legal, a series featuring her T.J. Hooker co-star, William Shatner. She also earned recognition through various biography specials. Lifetime's Intimate Portrait in 1997, True Hollywood Story in 2004, a Biography Channel profile in 2006, each offering glimpses into her personal experiences, triumphs, and struggles. Professionally, Heather forged on with multiple pilots and cameo roles, including C. Jane Run for ABC in 2007 and short appearances on Hannah Montana and Rules of Engagement. She was even placed 25th on TV Guide and Entertainment Weekly's 100 Greatest TV Icons list, an honor that reflected the enduring affection audiences felt for her. Yet as these various roles attest, the post-Melrose Place years did not yield a definitive new hit series for her. In her personal life, things began to fragment. In March 2008, a 911 call was placed by someone identifying themselves as her doctor, claiming Heather was suicidal. The authorities arrived at her Westlake Village home only to find her physically fine, though it was widely reported that she had been struggling with anxiety and depression, conditions that can be devastating even out of the public eye. While Heather's spokesperson swiftly denied any suicide attempt, the Ventura County Sheriff's Department did confirm that the call appeared genuine. Come June 2008, Heather voluntarily checked herself into an Arizona medical facility to evaluate the psychological challenges she was facing, including anxiety and depression. Her agent stated that the actress had recognized her mental health needed careful attention. After about 4 weeks of treatment, she returned home in late July, presumably with a plan for continued care. Unfortunately, a few months later, in September 2008, she faced another crisis when she was arrested on suspicion of driving under the influence near Santa Barbara. The tip-off came from a one-time reporter who photographed Heather acting erratically. The arrest itself was controversial, as no alcohol or illegal substances were found in her system. However, the police theorized that prescription medications meant to treat her mental health might have impaired her driving ability. Ultimately, Heather pleaded no contest to reckless driving, a resolution that led to the dismissal of the more severe DUI charges. She was given 3 years of informal probation, required to take a driver safety class, and paid a $700 fine. Despite those setbacks, in 2009, Heather ventured back into the public eye, returning to the reimagined Melrose Place on the CW. Fans were eager to see her reprise Amanda Woodward, a decade after the original's finale. She stepped into 8 episodes, acting as a mentor and tormentor to a younger character named Ella, portrayed by Katie Cassidy. While the nostalgia factor drew some viewers, The revamp never secured robust ratings, prompting cancellation after a single season. Still, Heather's participation reminded everyone of her comedic drama flair and underscored her ties to an iconic 1990s series. Next came a Lifetime movie, He Loves Me, in 2011, followed by a worrisome incident in January 2012 when Heather's sister phoned 911, fearing that the actress was once again in danger due to mixing prescription medication with alcohol. Although emergency personnel rushed her to Los Robles Hospital, she was reportedly out of harm's way the next day. Few details emerged publicly, but many fans recognized how precarious the situation was. Heather was facing repeated mental health episodes in the context of stress, heartbreak, and the demands of a high-profile career. By 2012, she began guest starring on the TV land comedy Hot in Cleveland, reuniting with several comedic talents and highlighting her continuing interest in lighter roles. In 2013, she joined Franklin and Bash, a dramedy starring Mark Paul Gosselaar and Breckin Meyer. Heather proved that, comedic or dramatic, she could add her signature presence to a variety of networks and genres. The following year, she participated in the We Are Sarah Jones public service announcement, meant to honor a camera assistant, Sarah Jones, who died tragically on a film set. This gesture illustrated Heather's empathy for the behind-the-scenes community and her commitment to helping ensure safer working environments in the industry. In 2016, viewers found her in The Game of Love, a television movie that aired on the Up Network, marking another credit in her filmography. Later that year, she took a recurring role in Tyler Perry's drama Too Close to Home on TLC, an attempt to build a steadier presence. Despite her repeated efforts to reclaim a stable footing, personal struggles continued. A turning point came in February 2018 when she was arrested for domestic violence and battery against a police officer. Charged with 1 felony count of domestic violence and 3 misdemeanors of battery on law enforcement, she found herself in another legal predicament. On June 24th of that year, she was arrested again for 2 additional misdemeanor counts of battery. Only a day later, after posting bail, she was hospitalized for a suspected overdose. This crisis signaled a deep escalation in her difficulties, prompting significant concern among friends, family, and longtime admirers who had watched her ascend from a bright young actress into a beloved primetime icon. In August 2019, she pleaded no contest to charges stemming from the 2018 arrest and was sentenced to spend 30 days in a residential mental health facility. In some ways, that sentence epitomized how the legal system was increasingly nudging her toward comprehensive care, considering a pattern of addiction, anxiety, and depression. While such mandated treatment might seem harsh, many observers hoped it would offer Heather the structure needed to navigate her mental health away from the chaos that had so frequently dominated her personal life. It was a stark contrast to the once unstoppable star who seemed to have it all. Examining Heather Locklear's narrative over the decades, it's easy to wonder how a promising performer with comedic and dramatic credits and a mainstream profile found herself in such dark corners. The combination of multiple high-profile marriages, heartbreaks, and a quest to remain relevant in the fickle television and film industries can create unimaginable pressure. When personal mental health is also at stake, the results can be jarring. Indeed, her story resonates with that of many celebrities who soared early in their careers, only to battle personal demons once the spotlight either shifted or became too scorching to handle. One cannot, however, reduce Heather Locklear's identity to these later life challenges alone. She made significant television history especially within Aaron Spelling's universe, playing iconic characters that remain etched in the memories of 1980s and 1990s viewers. From the cunning, opportunistic Sammy Jo on Dynasty to the cunning, equally opportunistic Amanda Woodward on Melrose Place, and from comedic hosting stints on SNL to comedic roles in Spin City, Heather exemplified range and willingness to push creative boundaries. She managed to navigate stardom in an era of intense tabloid culture, featuring widely circulated rumors, paparazzi provocations, and an unrelenting public appetite for scandal. Additionally, her personal trajectory highlights how interwoven success and tribulation often are in show business. On one side, she was unstoppable, a star who carried primetime dramas, earned Golden Globe nods, and repeatedly snagged magazine covers. On the other, she was grappling with insecurities and vulnerabilities. As she privately coped with divorce proceedings, custody worries, the abrupt ends of relationships, and an ongoing battle against anxiety and depression. Hollywood, with its adoration one moment and scorn the next, can intensify these struggles until they appear impossible to surmount. Her relationships, too, reveal how love in the spotlight can mutate under public scrutiny. Her marriage to Tommy Lee, a towering figure in the 1980s and 1990s rock scene, felt almost mythic in scale. The beautiful actress and the rebellious drummer, forging an alliance that tabloids dissected hungrily. Splitting from him, then marrying Richie Sambora, linked her again to a major rock star, creating a second wave of paparazzi interest. Some watchers saw her as chasing a pattern, while others recognized that life can simply unfold in unpredictable arcs, and that stardom may prompt one to gravitate towards similarly high-octane relationships. Jack Wagner represented another romance that resonated with fans, if only because it recalled the shared fictional history the pair had built on Melrose Place. And yet, for all these glamorous chapters, the real story arcs revolve around Heather's efforts to safeguard her emotional well-being. Checking herself into treatment in Arizona in 2008 was a critical gesture of self-awareness, reflecting a refusal to let her emotional burdens fester. Even so, a few short months later, she faced that reckless driving charge, underscoring how the path to healing can be nonlinear. Every new incident, from rumored suicide attempts to substance-related arrests, showed that stardom is never a fail-safe cushion against the pains and confusions of being human. At times, the public clamored for a triumphant comeback, yearning to see her re-enter the spotlight with a successful role or new project that would reaffirm her place in show business. Many fans believed that her comedic and dramatic abilities remained potent, so it was simply a matter of the right part. This desire for a Hollywood redemption story is woven into the culture, yet it places a profound weight on those trying to reclaim equilibrium in their personal lives. As of her more recent headlines, it appears Heather has wrestled with the ongoing challenge of forging stability. The court-mandated mental health treatment in 2019 offered a glimmer of hope that, given intensive and consistent therapy, she could address any underlying issues. The intricacy of addiction combined with anxiety and depression demands a stable support network, therapeutic intervention, and perhaps a recognition that the next chapter might look radically different from the high-profile decades she once lived. She might pursue quiet philanthropic work or smaller-scale projects, focusing on personal peace rather than on network-level stardom. Her narrative, in many ways, parallels the broader tale of countless Hollywood stars who reach stratospheric heights only to grapple with deeply personal battles in an unforgiving spotlight. The voyeuristic aspect of modern media means that every stumble, each misstep or meltdown can be magnified 100-fold. It's easy for the public to forget that behind the glimmering surfaces lies a person whose vulnerabilities echo the struggles experienced by thousands of ordinary individuals grappling with mental health and relationship turmoil. The difference is that Heather's heartbreak, her mistakes, and her attempts at redemption were all made heartbreakingly public. And so, the life of Heather Locklear stands as a story of dazzling early promise, genuine accomplishments in primetime soap operas and sitcoms, beloved comedic appearances, and a series of personal tribulations that complicated her once untouchable image. She showed that behind every radiant grin can lurk the shadows of stress and mental anguish. The revelations of arrests, overdose scares, and forced rehab stints were not only tabloid fodder but also stark reminders of how precariously a star's well-being can hang in the balance. Today, when people revisit old episodes of Dynasty or Melrose Place, they might experience a pang of nostalgia, reflecting on how mesmerizing Heather was in her prime. They might equally view her comedic forays on Spin City or her cameo on Saturday Night Live, discovering a performer who had the power to transcend the soap opera realm. And then the divorces, the arrests, the struggles to maintain emotional wellness. Her roles remain a nostalgia trip for many, even as she grapples with real struggles that, at times, overshadow those achievements. In recounting her life, one finds not just the cautionary message about fame's fragility, but also the glimmers of hope that each new day can offer a second chance. Hope that, after all the heartbreak, controversies, and battles with mental health and legal trouble, she can carve out a future in which her spirit remains as vibrant as the characters she brought to life. Only time will tell how she continues to rewrite her narrative, whether through renewed creativity or a quieter pursuit of personal equilibrium. In the tapestry of Hollywood stories, hers stands out for its peaks of extraordinary success and its valleys of deep turmoil, an unvarnished reflection of a brilliant star seeking solace in a galaxy that can dazzle and wound in equal measure.